It's 30 years now since you made a decision to become an activist, to commit so much of your life to political action. It was 1964. You were a successful linguist. You had a family. Everything was sort of perfect. Have you ever looked back? Have you ever thought about the things that you had to give up?
Oh, sure, lots. I knew right away. I mean, as you had mentioned, as we've discussed, I didn't really change my views at that point, but I did decide that it was just intolerable intolerably self-indulgent merely to take a passive role in the struggles that were then going on. So signing petitions and sending money and showing up now and then in a meeting and so on. I thought it was critically necessary to take a more active role, and I was well aware of what that would mean. It's not the kind of thing where you can put a foot in and then, in the water and get it wet and then leave. You go in deeper and deeper. And I knew that I would be following a course that would confront privilege and authority and would therefore be my own views, which were indeed highly critical, but didn't have much of an effect when I expressed my opinions in small groups or or let's say refused to get clearance in the lab at MIT or something like that. It would become a much a larger part of life and a damaging part as I proceeded. I have no illusions about the nature of the intellectual community. Its conformism, its techniques for marginalizing or trying to eliminate critical and independent thought. It's always been true, remains true, and I had a fair picture of where it was going. Was unhappy about it. It means giving up lots of things, but felt it was necessary, and there are many compensations.
What sort of things did you give up, and what sort of damage did you have to endure?
Well, I live in a world in which a world of constant lies, vilification, denunciation, also simply marginalization. And what I gave up is lots of free time to work on things that I find really exciting, as I do right now, plus just other, large parts of life just disappear. So, for example, large parts of personal life simply disappear for plain physical reasons because a day has 24 hours.
The picture that I have is of a really tireless, dedicated, and even ascetic life. And a long time ago, that's how Norman Mailer described you after sharing a jail cell briefly because of a Vietnam War protest. He used the word ascetic. How does that word sit with you?
It's more or less accurate, I guess, although, I do plenty of things that are quite totally self-indulgent. Even increasing now that I have grandchildren.
Can you give me an example of a self-indulgent?
Playing with my grandchildren, for example. That's the maximum of self-indulgence.
Is that? I was waiting for something a little richer,
Richer? Well, over the summer I go into total hermitude over the summer. The only way I've discovered over the years that the only way I can survive this schedule from beginning of September through the end of June is to disappear entirely over the summer and, barely answer the telephone, see a couple of old friends and family comes by and that sort of thing. Then I work my wife and I both work most of the day, but we'll take off in the late afternoon and go swimming or go sailing, have a sailboat out there, that sort of thing.
So even during the summer, you'll be working most of the day?
Yeah, most of the day.